Hello guys, in this video we will be looking into how to create city grids using Greeble in 3ds Max. So before we begin, I would like to share two softwares that will be quite important. So the first one, which is Greeble, so you'll have to download this and put it in your 3ds plugin file. And we've also got the i2soft spline offset. So this is the main page. To find the spline offset, you can simply head into products and go into free plugins. Once you get into the free plugins page, find the spline offset, and once you find that, go into it and simply download this. This also will need to be in the plugin file of 3ds Max. So once you've downloaded those, you might have to also just reopen your 3ds Max file in case it's not showing up for you, and that will help you have your two plugins in the software. So let's start with the city grid size. So head into your shapes and let's create a box, a square. So click, hold, and unhold, and go into your modify panel. Let's keep it small. Let's keep it to 100 by 100, so it's a square. And we will now create some lines as well. That will be our roads in our city grid. So click and click again, and you can hold to add some curves. And you can click again as well and hold it if you'd like to have more curves. I'll do some at the top as well. So click, click and hold, stop holding, and then you can do click and hold again and press escape to come out of it. And one more. All right, once you've done that, let's select all 4 lines and let's go into our modify panel, and in the modify panel list, right offset, and you see the spline offset option. Click on that and it will automatically generate some offsets for you. So let's play around with some of these parameters. Let's change the distance to 1. That looks quite small, so let's try maybe 3. Let's see how that looks in a bit. So let's head down and let's make sure the mode is 2D. We'll keep the bevel as square, but you can play around and see what you'd like. If you'd like them round, or you would like it like this, or square. For this example, I'll just keep it square. And the end type, let's see what we can do. That doesn't look right. That's the automatic. That looks more like it. And you can always try the other ones as well. Now that I see how it's going to look, let's keep this to 2 to make it a bit skinnier. That looks a lot better. And just make sure to untick keep original spline so we don't see the line in the middle. All right, so once we have done that, let's click out of it and let's go into our create panel again and go into the shapes, and from splines we should change it to compound shapes, and let's select our rectangle and go to shape boolean. Let's add some operands as well. So click, so if it's doing that, just make sure it's subtracting. So it was a union, so change the union to subtract, and keep clicking on your offsets, and it should give you a result something like this. Let's press escape to get out of that command, and let's head over to the perspective view. And holding Alt, you are able to orbit around your selected item. So I'm quite happy with how it's looking. So in the modify panel, let's go to edit poly, and it will automatically generate a surface for you there. Also, once you open your 3ds Max, it will be under shading and this will be unticked. So in the next command that we're putting it in now, which is codify mesh, once you put this command, nothing will show up on your surface here. That's because you're in default shading. So click on that and just make sure your edge faces are also ticked on. So that's when you're able to see these lines there. You're able to change the sizing to very detailed or not as detailed. I'll keep the sizing to around 3.5 because it looks quite right. And once you're happy with your percentage, let's head over to the modify list again and do Greeble. Alright, so let's change the minimum height to 1 and the maximum height to maybe 10. And it's as simple as that. So you can see that it just automatically generates buildings in that surface. So you can see those roads going around, as well as the buildings on the surface. So, however, if you'd like to change and control a bit more on where the buildings are located, let's just delete this command first. After you've done the codify mesh, head over into the modify list again, and this time we will do mesh select. And just select face and just select as many faces as you'd like. And these selected faces will have the effect of Greeble. So let's do it a bit of everywhere. Some here as well. And some here. Some here. And some here. Let's take this as an example. So these are our selected mesh that we have chosen. And let's do Greeble again. And just change that to 10. And now you can see that the selected mesh surfaces are being affected in Greeble command only. So that's something that you can work in control of. Another thing, let's make this height 1, or let's make it 0 and 0. The taper command allows you to separate buildings and create laneways and streets within the city grid. So if you look closer, there's some lines here. So that just shows the distance between each building. And you're able to increase and decrease it depending on how much space you would like in each, between each building and how much setback you would like. So let's try maybe 20 to be able to see it a bit better. And just make sure you do select tops. And then in the modifier list, just write Greeble again. And we will make the height 10. Maybe let's do 5. And you're going to be able to see the distance here and how it's changed. So if you go back here and change it to 15, you can see the distance between the properties get smaller as we do that. Let's do 10. Another thing you can do with Greeble is you're able to taper the building itself. So if you go back to the top one, if you play around with this taper here, it will actually change the taper of the building at the top. So let's make it, for example, 20 so we can see a bit better. As you can see, the building is getting slanted and shrinking at the top. Let's do 50 to see a bit better result. There we go. So that's what it will do for your selected surfaces. Let's make it to 25 or even 15. And yeah, you can also delete mesh select if you don't want it to affect only on certain places, and it will pretty much just do it for the entire surface. And that's just how you create a city grid using Greeble and offspline, offset as well. Thank you.